The crisis we've just been through, it was after, and we'll come to that in a minute as to how they solved that crisis by basically telling business to turn off their energy so that the teals could actually have a warm blanket. But we'll come to that in a moment. The crisis we've just been through, Matt, was after, and you've written about this, the Liddell coal-fired power station in New South Wales, Hunter Valley, shut one 400 megawatt unit in April. Now it's got three other units, a total of 1,200 megawatts, which will shut next April. Then in 2025, our largest coal-fired power station, Araring, also in the Hunter, is due to shut. So by the end of the decade, almost 2/3 of our coal-fired power could be shut. What the hell happens then?
Well, what happens then, I think, is if we don't do anything, this is assuming, if we keep going down the path we're going, what happens then is almost every manufacturing business in Australia will go to the wall. We will not be able to guarantee power for people in cold times or when it's very hot. There'll be great devastation across our land, and there is still time. I mean, there's years to go till we get to that position. And I mentioned and I wrote about the fact that in Florida they've just installed a world-class, like world's best technology for a gas-fired power station, the most efficient gas-fired power station in the world. They built that in 3 years under the excellent governor there, Ron DeSantis. There's no reason why we couldn't, within 2 or 3 years, build an off-the-shelf high-efficiency, low-emission coal-fired power station. Not revolutionary technology, just stuff that's built all around the world, 350 of them being built around the world right now. Do one of those, or a few of those, ideally, in Australia, and we wouldn't have this problem. So what's the argument now against this? I mean, on the one hand, we could face the absolute destruction of our manufacturing industry and devastation for average families. On the other hand, we build a few power stations, cost us a few $1 billion, which is nothing compared to the cost of what people are going through right now. And it might raise the temperature of the globe by 0.0011 degrees Celsius.
Who's advising?
Why don't we do it?
Who's advising the Albanese government? Legislating for renewables and carbon dioxide limits. As you've said, and I've said many times, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Austria are all turning coal-fired power stations back on. China and India have plans to increase their coal mining by 700 million tonnes a year. What we mine, 400 million tonnes? How are we here so out of step with the rest of the world?
Well, I think people have become complacent, and look, I must say, Alan, my own party isn't running behind these options to build real things like coal-fired power stations. They've signed up to some of this madness too, and they're doing that because they're convinced, or people in my party have become convinced, that Australian people want that. So what I'd encourage your viewers to do is contact your local member of parliament, get onto them and tell them, hey, this is ridiculous. So you want to keep manufacturing jobs in this country. You want to put Australia first and not just export our natural resources so other countries can beat us in the industrial arms race that's occurring around the world to grab manufacturing and become the factories of the world. Make sure we keep that resource here in Australia first for our use, our gas, our coal, and our uranium in the future. So contact your member of parliament, because what hurts me is that people only hear one side of it, or the members of parliament seem to only get one message, and they therefore think, oh no, Matt, you're just off your own. The people don't really want this. Well, I'm convinced.
But I mean, across
that when
the
people see
world,
the bill for this, how much it costs, they will change their mind.